Hi everyone, happy Sunday and welcome to my kitchen. I thought I would pop in and share an extra little, I suppose, lesson video or demo video with you relating to the free course content. So we did the ugly painting assignment and there were lots of questions about, well, what does it mean to be ugly, and is there such a thing as ugly, and what if I want to make my ugly painting nice, and how does this relate to my regular practice? And I have a lot of things in my studio at the moment that are stuck and I just don't like them. I don't know what to do with them. And I use this idea of free painting or ugly painting to move things forward and to generate new ideas. So the other day when I was in there, I filmed it for you so that you can see what it looks like. I edited it into a little video for you. I'm going to share that with you now. So first I'm going to show you some of the paintings, the half-finished things and the things I don't like that are hanging around in my studio so that you can see that we all have messes. And then I'm going to pick 4 of them, and I did a little bit of work on them and I filmed myself. So let's go have a look. Okay, so there are a few things in my studio that I do like, and these large abstract landscapes I'm really pleased with. So those are waiting to be hung in whenever I next show my work. But then there are things like this. This is what I just call random daubing. At the moment, there's nothing here that I like other than maybe some colours, and they're just kind of pointless from my perspective. Here's a big one, same thing. I was playing with blues and greens. This one I quite like some things. This one I don't mind some things. But they're all just experiments. This one, I don't like that big swipe of paint. Here's another big swipe of paint. This one's quite nice, but something about the composition I don't love. Colour's nice, but I don't love it. This is just a disaster. What's that? This one, I love that green and pink against the black, but that's all. This one, yeah. So what I did is I picked 4 of them, hung them up on the wall, and I thought I'll just work on them, try and bring them to life. The one on the left was the hardest to do this with because I quite like the colours on that, and I'm gonna, cover it all up. But this is what it's all about. So I'm going to take some colours that I wouldn't normally work with, and then I'm gonna have a go on these. So let's see what happens. So these are some colours that I would never choose or very rarely choose. A deep yellow, a horrible green I don't like, a fluorescent orange, phthalo blue. So these are some quite aggressive colours. And now we're just going to see what happens. So I work on all 4 at once. That's the first thing, because I'm not trying to do anything nice. I'm trying to just make something happen. I just make random shapes. I mixed up colours from those colours that you saw. So that blue was mixed from the phthalo blue and some of the green and some of the black. I've now mixed up a vibrant green. Do you see how I'm letting the paint be smudgy or ugly and not trying to fix anything? It's a big thing for me to try and fix things that don't look nice, and I have to push myself. That fluorescent orange is not a colour I like, but I'm putting it on there because I want to bring things to life. And I've got to tell you, I was having so much fun doing this. I had music on and I was just really feeling it. I was trying different brushes and different tools to get different effects. And I know I've speeded this up a lot, but it would be really boring if it was at normal speed. But I hope you can see that what's actually happening here is just a lot of putting paint on in weird ways. The colours get a bit muddy, they get a bit muddled. I'm trying to think of different ways. So I used my hands, I used different size brushes, I used a palette knife. I used, at one point I tried a scrubbing brush, one of those that you scrub your floor with, but that one wasn't very successful. And just trying to make them pop. And do you see though, even though they don't look brilliant, they do look fun, don't they, compared to what I started with. Let's go back and look what I started with. So this is what I had to begin with, and now here's what I have. They're just alive. Can you feel it? There's me in them. It might be unrefined, it might not be thought through, it might not have good compositions, but I am in these paintings in a way that I am not in the first ones. They were timid, they were uninteresting, they were not feeling alive. This gives me something to work with. And next I'm going to show you the next iteration. So now I have 4 paintings that feel very exciting to me. That orange that I didn't like is only appearing in little dots, and I can handle it this much. And all these other colours have come in, and all this movement and all this excitement. And now I'm feeling really quite energized and jazzed about my work in a way that I haven't been for a while. And you guys actually have done that for me. So let me switch the camera around and I'll talk to you about that. Yes, they say what you teach, what you need to know. And it's definitely true of me. I need to be constantly reminded of joy because I work really hard. I'm always working. And in the free course, I was answering messages and emails from 7 in the morning till 11 at night. And I work at that kind of pace all the time, and I can forget about having a good time, and I have to be reminded. And certain times of the year, I find I get out of that reminder. And then when I do this free taster course over the past, we've done it 5 or 6 times now, I think 6 times. When I do this, it re-energizes me because seeing all your creativity sparks creativity in me again. And my own assignments remind me what I should know how to do by now. And I really look forward to that for the next 12 weeks because I know what happens every year when I teach this is my own work explodes into creativity again and life and joy and energy. And I love the joy and energy that came out of my so-called ugly paintings. And this is what I want to say to you about your own, when you do this exercise on your own, is don't force yourself to make them horrible, but rather force yourself to not be precious about anything in them. So if there's something that you really like and you're right at the beginning of the process, cover it up with something else. Teach yourself that you can always make it better, that there's endless creativity, that it doesn't matter if you mess it up for now, it's just for now. And this exercise is a way to do that. We are now welcoming in people to Find Your Joy, as you may know, the full course, and it's amazing to see how many people are coming in and very gratifying to see how many people are coming back from prior years, much more than I expected. So it's absolutely fabulous to see all of you returning if you're one of those people, because apart from the fact that you will go through more learning, you will inspire some of the newer people with what you've learned, and you will know how to hold their hand and encourage them through the process. This 12-week transformation of Find Your Joy, and I'm speaking now to the people who are signed up for that because obviously this email's going out to all of you. But if you are signed up, you are going to have an absolute blast if you can let yourself appreciate the fact that there are people in the group with more experience than you. If I've got all these past students there, they already have found joy. They already have found expression. They want more of it now. And that's the thing, it never stops. But they are going to be able to help you. But if you get into what I call compare and despair, and we'll talk about that a lot more over the next 12 weeks or so. But if you get into compare and despair, you can't learn from those people. You block it all out because you're too busy beating yourself up, which is absolutely no help to anyone, including you. So what you need to do is open up to all this wonderful, beautiful support and influence and help that's coming in from other people, and let yourself soak it all up like a sponge. How often in life do we get to learn from people who are more experienced than we are in a close group like that? People who are generous and supportive and sharing and will give you all their secrets if you ask. So I can't wait. By the way, when we were on a live call, I mentioned an artist from Harrogate near me called Richard Snowden, who sadly is now passed away. And I said that he was the inspiration for me even starting to paint, let alone starting to teach and all the rest of it. And this painting, because I'm in my kitchen, can you see? That painting is called U2. I absolutely love it. And I mention that because there's this thing about realism versus abstraction, and Richard painted recognizable subjects. He painted landscapes and animals, and I have lots of that kind of art in my life, and I would love it if we didn't have the divides between the two, if we could just appreciate art and not have to put it into categories. Like, I love realism, I love abstraction, I love everything in between. If it appeals to me, I love it, and I don't care which it is. And that's the way I approach my teaching as well. And so when you're thinking about ugly painting as a realist painter, same thing applies. If you're painting, say, sheep, can you make them loose? Can you use a really big brush stroke? Can you obliterate one of the lines and make the background merge into the animal at one point? Can you screw up the face and then fix it again? Can you draw part of it and paint other parts? Can you get really free and loose with it? It doesn't matter whether it's abstraction or realism, to use this technique of being totally free in the way you work. And what you learn is no one dies. The art police don't burst in and arrest you. Everything continues as normal. Maybe your spouse says, "Ooh, that's not your best painting," but your spouse can get lost because it's none of their business. All right, see you later. Oh, and if you're interested in the course, make sure you get signed up before the 14th. We can't make any exceptions after that date because we have to get everything ready for you, and we're all focused on that. So make sure you pop your name in now, get signed up now. And if you have any questions, however daft you think the question is, email us and we'll be sure to answer you. This is going to be our biggest and best year ever, and I want you in it. Okay, see you soon. Bye.